I'd like to introduce our first speaker this morning. Please give a Texas-sized welcome for the 2018 Texas FFA Soil Stewardship Public Speaking Contest winner, Kylar Pepper. Welcome, Kylar.
As he said, my name is Kylar Pepper. I'm a sophomore at Klondike High School, and I would just like to thank the National Association of Conservation Districts for giving me the opportunity to be here and present my speech to you today. High-quality water is more than the dream of the conservationist, more than a political slogan. High-quality water in the right quantity, at the right place, and at the right time is essential to health, recreation, and economic growth. These words were spoken by U.S. Senator Edmund S. Muskie more than 50 years ago, but ring truer today than ever before. To a great many people, the term watershed probably conjures up few thoughts. After all, to be shed of something is to be finished with it. Out of sight, out of mind, you might say. But add the words where and your to the equation, and people begin to take notice. So, where does your watershed? Managing and protecting our water resources is one of the most critical issues facing Texas today. As our population increases, human demands for water will grow. But we still need to ensure that there is adequate water for agriculture, industry, and the environment. Decisions made now will have far-reaching consequences for the livelihood of our state. Water is a finite resource, and it is up to us to decide how to use the resource sustainably. The consequences of increasing water use reach far beyond your monthly water bill. Some people may question the need to know the origin of their water. It's important in order to prevent polluting our own water source as well as that of our neighbors. We must know where our water originates in order to maintain its quality and take steps to protect it. For example, if our water comes from a source that is in danger of being depleted, you might want to reduce your usage. Equally as important, the quality of that water can also be better maintained. In Texas, soil and water conservation law is administered by the Texas State Soil and Water Conservation Board, which also coordinates conservation and non-point source pollution abatement programs throughout the state. The Water Quality Management Plan program is one such administered by the board. A water quality management plan is a site-specific plan developed through and approved by soil and water conservation districts for agriculture and other lands. The plan includes appropriate treatment practices, production practices, management measures, technologies, or combinations of each. The purpose of water quality management plans is to control pollution as determined by the Texas State Board in conjunction with local soil and water conservation districts to meet state water quality standards. The board has been implementing these plans since the mid-1990s and has completed over 14,000 in the state of Texas. Another program administered in Texas is the Watershed Protection Plan. Through this plan, the state of Texas encourages the stakeholder to look at all the sources and causes of impairments and threats to both surface and groundwater resources within a watershed. The Texas State Soil and Water Conservation Board recognized that a vital approach to managing water quality was to engage local stakeholders to become actively involved in planning and implementing programs in their watershed. This need was met by creating the Texas Watershed Steward Program. In the Environmental Protection Agency's handbook for developing watershed plans, 9 important elements of effective plans are identified. One of the most critical elements focuses on education of the public and encouraging early and continued participation in the process. The Texas State Soil and Water Conservation Board holds one-day trainings on enhancing understanding of watershed systems, impairments, methods for improving watershed function, and community-driven watershed protection and management. Participants are educated on the importance of watershed protection activities and will be given the opportunity to participate as stakeholders in the Watershed Protection Plan development process. There are more than 1,300 watershed projects in the United States, all assisted by the Natural Resources Conservation Service, or NRCS. Every state has a project, such as flood control, All projects are authorized and funded through the Watershed Protection and Flood Prevention Act of 1954. The program is a partnership between state, local, and federal government with landowners. The cooperation between the public, government, and nonprofit organization has never been more important than it is today. With the renewed drought that Texas faces, the quality and quantity of water is a hot topic all across the state. Now is the time to get more bang for our buck by increasing watershed awareness. As Thomas Fuller once said, "We never know the worth of water till the well is dry." The public has begun to realize that the well is going dry, and now, more than ever, are willing to do what it takes to conserve and protect our water. In the words of John James Audubon, a true conservationist is a man who knows that the world is not given by his forefathers, but borrowed from his children. In summary, the phrase, "What is your watershed?" brings to mind the need for stakeholders to be aware of the necessary precautions in applying chemicals to the soil. But it is just as important that we, as agriculturists, inform the general public that there are no better stewards of the land than those whose living depends on it. Each and every day, plans are made and safety measures taken to ensure that everyone has access to pure, clean water. As an ancient proverb says, "Filthy water cannot be washed." Thank you.